Ted Kaczynski. We've all heard of him. He's blown up on the internet, becoming a meme, mainly blowing up on TikTok. He is very famous due to his manifesto, Industrial Society and Its Future. This has one very famous line in it, which is, "The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race." This line is the beginning of his manifesto and a very potent line. Now, in this video, we will be discussing Ted Kaczynski's manifesto and his ideology. As a child, Ted Kaczynski was a prodigy. He was very intelligent and became a math teacher early in his life. However, later in his life, he moved to the woods in isolation. This is due to his ideology, which we'll be focusing on later. The number one thing that Ted Kaczynski criticizes is the industrial society. The industrial society formed, of course, through the Industrial Revolution, which happened around the 1800s and late 1700s. This caused a rapid shift in society. People who used to work in farms and live in communities were now forced into the cities, where they're forced to work in factories for wages. This drastically altered the way in which people lived. This has resulted in a term known as oversocialization. Socialization is the ability to adapt or to conform to laws and regulations within a society. Within a pre-industrial society, these laws and regulations would be regulated by the community, so each individual person would have a say in each law. However, in the industrialized society, due to the government having more power due to the industrial economy, they were able to enforce their laws upon each said person. This has caused over-socialization. One example of over-socialization would be the deadlines and schedules for work. For example, in an industrialized society, you would have to work at a specific date that your boss tells you to, instead of in a pre-industrial society where you can work whenever you want on your farm or on whatever you were working on in the pre-industrial society. According to Ted Kaczynski, socialization trains people to think and act as society demands. This means that society has almost complete power over the individual. Society will force its own moral principles upon the individual and make it so the individual must serve those moral principles no matter how much the individual disagrees with those principles. This is very evident in leftism, which Ted Kaczynski heavily criticizes, which we'll get into later. In the industrialized society, humans are cogs in the machine compared to, according to Ted Kaczynski. This is because in the industrialized period, the population growth has grown to such an extent to where there are so many people, but there is not enough jobs to hold that many people. So each individual person is replaceable, making the value of each person go down, basically making each person a cog in the machine where it can be easily replaced. This means that people lack dignity, as they don't believe that their work has inherent value because they can easily be replaced, and there's a lot of people just like them. Ted Kaczynski also mentions the power process. The power process is the innate human desire to become powerful or to attain a goal or autonomy. This is absolutely disrupted in the industrialized system. This leads to creating of feelings of inferiority. The inferiority comes to not being able to hold power, or majority of 99% of people cannot hold power inside the industrialized system, where the top 1% can. So the bottom 99% feel inferior. And he also mentions surrogate activities. In the industrialized world, there are not many actual things to do to help you attain self-fulfillment or help you with the power process, but surrogate activities can help you feel distracted, and they provide some sort of pleasure or achievement without actually doing that much. An example Ted Kaczynski brings up is scientists. He calls the scientists and mathematicians who are very involved in their work as surrogate activities, because no natural human would actually want to willingly do this. Instead, scientists and mathematicians, they get heavily invested in their work because they have no other ways to fulfill their power process. Ted Kaczynski also heavily criticizes leftism. Leftism, he claims, isn't really about helping the downtrodden, as everyone actually wants to help the downtrodden. However, the leftists takes this and uses it to fuel their power process. They feel feelings of inferiority, and it causes them to seek social justice as a surrogate activity. People need autonomy, according to Ted Kaczynski, or the ability to work for themselves and gain personal achievement. This is absent in the industrialized world, as you are almost always working for someone else under a corporation, and very few people can actually start their own grassroots organization which grows to become a self-sufficient. Now, this video only really covers the first half of his book, as the second half of his book is mainly focused on his revolution, how to achieve it, and what to do during a revolution, which I'm not really that interested in. I'm more interested in his ideology and his ideas, which he set forward, which they seem pretty interesting, so I thought I'd make a video about this. I'm sorry for the more like under-edited type video with gameplay in the background. I just thought it'd be a cool video to put out. You know, not really my usual over-edited videos, but I hope you guys like it. See ya.